Boom! That's right. Welcome back, everybody, to our lovely weekly podcast, Comic X
Weeb.
That's right. I am your co-host, James, aka Comics for Cheap, aka hashtag was LeBron's Space Jam better than Michael's Space Jam. And I got my co-host with me over here.
It's your boy Chris, aka Black Santa, aka I believe I can fly, aka Super Cold Water.
That's right.
Yeah, man. Just to get you some good information on the Super Cold Waterfront. LeBron did hit me up, and he was like, "Yo, man, we need to get this track." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "What track, LeBron? What are you talking about?" He said, "Look, man, we need some fire on this soundtrack. What I'm saying, for this movie." And he was like, "I've been listening, I've been talking to the homie, John Lucas, and he's been telling me that, that you got that fire, you got the bars." I was like, "I got that water, bro." He was like, I heard that. I was like, "Bro, I got that water." He was like, "I know." He was like, we gotta get started going. So I was like, I got you. But, I listened to the soundtrack, listened to songs he had, and I was like, "You know what, man? I think I'm gonna pass on this one. I'm gonna talk to him. When we do Space Jam 3, I'm gonna be up on that."
Space Jam 3, God. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine if we get a Space Jam 3 in 30 years and how old we're gonna fucking feel if that happens? We're gonna be like 60 years old and be like, "I remember when I was a child watching Michael Jordan play with Bugs Bunny." And it will still be an awful movie at that point too. That is just the cold hard facts. But anyways, welcome everybody. Hit that like button, smash it, subscribe if you haven't already. This is our weekly live podcast where we talk about everything pop culture, but mostly comic books, movies, anime, that kind of thing. And let's just jump on in. Yeah. With the first thing that we're going to be talking about today, and that is Chris's new favorite movie.
I won't say all that, but I will say this. After seeing Space Jam, A New Legacy, I will say it is something I haven't seen. It was something I didn't want to see. It was something I wish I never saw. That should tell you what I think of the movie. Okay, so
LeBron was like, spoilers here. I think you were telling me a little bit that LeBron was like super anxious about the movie, really hoping that it was going to perform well and everything like that. That was going to, I don't know if it was going to like try to jumpstart his acting career or whatever he's trying to do after the NBA. What'd you think of it, Chris?
So again, there might be some spoilers here. There could legitimately be some spoilers here, but for anybody who listens to this from now to the future, don't go see that movie. It's okay. These spoilers are not even it doesn't even matter. This movie is just straight up trash. Here's one of the biggest problems with this movie.
Yes,
is the whole premise of the movie is basically LeBron is a dick. And he's supposed to be your hero, though, but he's such a douche to his kid because he obviously LeBron plays basketball. He's a superstar. We know what LeBron is, but his kid wants to make video games, and LeBron was like, "No, nerd, you're gonna play basketball and you're gonna love it. That's all you're gonna do." And like his kid's like, "But I want a video game." No, you're gonna play basketball because that's what I play. And you're gonna play it too. So that's the whole thing is supposed to be LeBron figuring out that to truly succeed, you have to really be yourself. If the kid wants to play video games or make video games, that's the path that he should go through because he's really going to enjoy that and get the most out of it because, that's what he really wants to do. Basketball, he's not because he doesn't really want to play it. Even if he is good at it, he might not go anywhere really because that's not his passion. Because in reality, there's a lot of guys who came out of high school who was ballers and who played in college who was ballers. But when they got to the NBA, they sucked and they bombed because, one, when you get to the NBA, you have to be fully invested to survive. Sure. And if you're not fully invested, the guys who are going to destroy you. And every single player there, they're playing for money. They're playing to get that check, but they're invested for multiple reasons. And if you're not, you're going to lose. So the point is, that's what the whole premise is. But the problem with the movie is, at no point in time do you really like LeBron. He's kind of a douche for the whole movie. Even the Looney Tunes call him out, and they're just like, yeah, you're a bad father. And it just continues on, bro, until it gets to the end where he somewhat sees that, okay, his son really likes video games and making video games. So you know what? You do what you got to do, and I love you no matter what. And it's like,
when the Looney Tunes call you out for being a bad father,
call him out for being a bad father. The movie goes everywhere too, dude, because at one point, and you would think on paper some of this stuff sounds cool. They go to the Matrix, and of course they go to the Matrix, and Granny has a fight scene. That doesn't sound cool at all, and it's just as stupid as that sounds. But they go to the Matrix. They go to Granny, it's the part that was cool though. They're like, LeBron's like, okay, we need to recruit Superman. So he's like, all right, let's go get Superman. So when they go to Superman, they go to the Justice League universe, Superman's universe, but it's the one that me and you grew up on with the animated series. So that was kind of cool. Okay. And they actually have them drawn the way they was back then. Again, that was cool. Right. But he sees Superman, he meets Superman, but he really doesn't. Superman never says a word to him because he's busy and doing stuff. And he kind of just looks down at him, and then like the Flash and the rest of the league, some of the league shows up and they just stare at him. And they're just like, no. And he's just like, all right, let's go somewhere else. They go to Mad Max. They go to all these different places. Yes. This is not the Space Jam movie that me and you grew up on from the first one, where the Looney Tunes went to Michael and was like, all right, we got the Monstars. We got to battle against these guys. You need to help us. No. This is a thing where, again, like the trailer shows, they go into a digital verse, basically. A cartoon digital verse, and the main villain brings LeBron's kid there. He recruits LeBron kid, talking, oh, your dad, blah blah blah. I'll be your real friend, and blah blah blah. And
I'll be your daddy
now. Yeah. There is a funny thing that there's a funny nod where you know how when LeBron loses, there's the meme of him going around trying to recruit other players to join him after he lost. So LeBron's like losing. And you see him at times trying to recruit his son over to his team and other people to his team. And that part made me chuckle as an NBA fan. Right. That made me chuckle. But if you are an NBA fan, you're going to despise this movie too. This is not for NBA fans. I guess this is for children. I suppose.
Of course it's for children.
I guess. But they had the it clown there. He was just hanging out with children. I'm like,
what?
They threw. Yeah. They threw every single LP that they had
hanging out with children.
He's just chilling in the crowd with children.
He was
no big deal, dude. No big man. They cool. They cool.
They cool.
Okay. They all just trying to watch some basketball, bro. They just trying to watch some basketball.
Sharing some hot wings or something.
They go into a rap battle.
Is LeBron rapping? Oh my god. Please don't tell me.
Yeah, it was all bad.
Oh, Jesus.
Water was very upset. I had bust the mic out up in there and show these boys how it's done. I was like, I was like, bro, give me a mic. I looked at my mobile. I said, drop a beat. Because this ain't going down like this. You ain't going to disrespect the rap game in front of me.
Oh, shit. That's too fucking funny.
And just to kind of wrap this up a little bit, this thing... So the main villain, since he's in his universe, his little digiverse, basically,
yes,
he's able to manipulate the game to how he wants to be. So, like, he can score as much points, basically, and make the score whatever he wanted to be.
Porky Pig killed that freestyle. So says Chris Lozano.
He did not.
Yeah, I can see Porky Pig doing some fast rap with that.
Jonah. So he's manipulating the score to what basically like he can, if he wants 1,000 points on the scoreboard, he can basically do that. And it's getting to a point where they're dominating. Yo, they even had a legit scene that made no sense to me. It was so dumb. I mean, it made sense, but it was just so dumb.
Okay.
Granny got an extra 30 points. 30 points for being a senior citizen.
Isn't that how it works with the boomers? Don't they always want something for nothing? Don't they always want a little extra recognition for not doing shit? Talking to you, Granny.
Senior citizen points now? An extra 30 points for being a senior citizen? What the So LeBron eventually recruits his kid over to his side. And the dude is like, all right, well, since your son switched sides, and his son switched sides because the dude screamed at him one time, so his son was like, I'm going back to dad. And the dude's like, all right, well, I'm going to join the game now because, you switch sides. And he's basically manipulating the game how he wants to, but things happen where, of course, the good guys catch up or whatever, and it comes down to a quote-unquote final shot. And Bugs shoots the ball, and it's going to be a flat-out air ball. He's going to miss. You can see that it's going to miss. So LeBron jumps in and grabs it to go for a dunk, similar to Michael. And he's going in there, but you can see LeBron, he might not make it. So the dude basically jumps on LeBron's back. So now it's like, oh, LeBron's not going to make it. He's going to miss. And I'll be honest with you. I was like, yes, miss. I was turning to Daniel Bryan in there. Yes. And then, of course, his kid had to be a little punk and help LeBron out and start shooting some little things at the bottom so LeBron can start working his way back up. And I'm like, turning to Daniel Bryan again. No. And LeBron makes the shot. And then and I'm just like, but you can manipulate the game. Why ain't you? LeBron makes the shot, and then his team wins, but Bugs Bunny dies. All right,
naturally.
And
was he
then
killed by Elmer?
Season. He sacrificed himself, I guess. Whatever.
Very cool.
I'm still not fully sure how he quote unquote died, but he died, and then we get to the
choking
end.
out a carrot. He deep-throated a carrot.
Yeah,
he deep-throated a carrot.
Yeah, he choked on Layla's carrot. She becomes an Amazon, even though she fails the test. Wonder Woman has like a test for her. She fails it, but then at the end they're just like, no.
I don't understand how what are the Justice League doing in Space Jam? I don't understand. This is ridiculous.
Because they're owned by Warner Brothers, so every single Warner Brother LP was in that freaking movie.
But Klazana says, did you see Michael Jordan though?
Oh my God, thank you for reminding me of that. So they was like, at one point beforehand, they was like, oh my God, we found Michael Jordan. And LeBron's looking and everybody's like, oh, okay. And then who walks through the door? Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, Michael B. Jordan.
I wasn't laughing in the theater. I was like, this is stupid. I was like, this is really dumb.
Amazing. That's fantastic. I love it so much. I was hoping it'd be Michael Jordan's grave, but that's cool.
So he could piss on it, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Basically, they're like, "Oh, okay, hey, we're going to a basketball camp," and the kid's like, "Oh yeah, I like basketball." And like, LeBron's like, "Oh, wait a minute, we're somewhere else," and it ends up being a game convention basically. And the kid's like, "Yay, thank you, I want to be in." And then Buck shows up, so I guess he's not dead.
Oh, good.
And
I was wondering if Pennywise took him out. That's kind of what I was hoping.
He just creeps up while LeBron kid is running to the thing. He just creeps up and grabs his leg and brings him into the sewer. That's how the movie actually ends with his scream. It ends with his screams, and I would have enjoyed it. That would have been the movie I would have had it on. But bro, oh my god, it was so bad.
I just can't believe they included like Pennywise in a kids movie. That's just hilarious to me.
They included the Mad Max. They included a bunch of stuff.
Max, like
Mad Max, they went there too. They included they threw every single thing Warner Brother had. I didn't even know they had some of these things.
Right.
They even made a bunch of Harry Potter jokes, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure y'all don't actually own Harry Potter. But
Warner Brothers has the movie rights, yeah.
All right, but they just threw everything, bro. At everybody just had to get a cameo out there. They even had I'm pretty sure they had the nun from the
What? Are you serious? Conjuring? The Conjuring?
Oh the lady had the same costume as one of the Conjuring movies, where she had like the whole white thing and the black, and then she had like the cross symbol on her chest. And they showed that, and I'm like, that looks just like one of the movies, The Nuns. And what the hell? Why is she here? Do they even own that? Does Warner Brothers own that too? I'm like, remember, bro, what honestly. Is going on?
That's hilarious. That's crazy.
No anymore.
So needless to say, Chris is giving it glowing reviews and telling everybody that they need to go see it in the theaters.
Bro, I'm pretty sure
it bombed on
2 out of 10
across the board, right? Like it just bombed with critics. It bombed box office wise. It's just not doing well at all.
So they are hanging a hat on that for this weekend. It was the #1 movie in the weekend. But if you look at the numbers aren't really that impressive. Definitely if you compare it to Black Widow's numbers.
Right.
From when her opening weekend.
Speaking of Black Widow, yes. They have had all right, so we all know Black Widow came out in theaters, but it also came out on Disney Plus pretty much same day, just for like a fee or whatever. So box office wise, Black Widow had the biggest second weekend drop in Marvel history.
Second weekend drop off, right?
Drop, yeah. So from like sales drop, and Disney is trying to blame piracy. I'm like, no, motherfucker! Like people are just watching it at home.
Yeah,
like in groups. I have Black Widow on my Disney Plus. Come on over, let's all watch it, kind of thing. I think that's what's going on. I don't think it's anything else, or just people don't want to leave their house and go to the theaters right now. I mean, we've entered a new age of how we consume media, and movie theaters and movie studios are just fighting so hard to not let that out of their grasp, I think. And I mean, this is kind of proof of it, that now they're trying to say that it's piracy, that, oh man, people are stealing the movie, and that's why we didn't have good numbers on the second weekend. No, you didn't have good numbers on the second weekend because, one, it's a B-level hero.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah.
Two, you kind of fucked the villain on a B-level hero. So that
traveled very fast and pissed people off.
Oh, yeah, everyone talking about it. Instagram, Facebook, Reddit. It doesn't, like, everyone is just saying how much they could not get behind Taskmaster for whatever reason, whether they were mad that they gender bend it, which I wasn't really mad about that part, or they're mad with what was going on with them being digitally programmed to be Taskmaster instead of the real true origin, like we were talking about last week.
Yeah.
Well, either whichever your reasoning, whatever. They didn't like the villain.
Yeah.
And then it's accessible from your laptop, tablet, whatever, your smart TV. You could just sit on your couch, make order some pizza or whatever, and have your buddies over and watch the movie. So or even like just in bed. That's how I watched it. I just, in bed, watched the movie. So I don't think that there's.
I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say.
Bro, I was just, watching the movie.
I was say what I was gonna say. I'm in there butt naked with a bottle of lotion. No, I'm joking.
That's right. No, don't judge me how I'm watching Black Widow, bro. I'm saying it. All right, I don't need this negative energy that you've got coming out about how I'm watching Black Widow. Okay.
Okay.
But either way, I mean, there's plenty of reasons for why the second weekend dropped off so much, and I think that they need to figure out a way to pursue that lane instead of just fighting so hard to keep movie theaters and that whole realm as their priority. I think that needs to almost be like their second thing. Like yeah, we did really well here, but also we got this from the theaters. It shouldn't just be like, yeah, we got this from the theaters, and then we also got this digitally. Like, they need to figure out a way to switch it, because I think that's the way the world is going.
No, I fully agree with you, man, on everything you said. You know, and with the bottle of lotion, brother Ash, his legs get ashy sometimes, but you don't want that to be there. Anyway,
why my dick look brand new, but the rest of me look old as fuck? I need to spread the lotion out. I think I need to lotion more than just my dick.
Whoa. But no, especially like you said, with the fact that, look, it's Black Widow's cool and all, but it is a B rank hero, no matter how you look at it. Right. And this, like, when you, for all the different reasons why people didn't like Taskmaster, that's still a big factor. And again, that was probably the biggest thing people was bringing up as one of the big negatives of the movie, no matter whatever their reasons was behind that. It was just one of those things where to me, it's something that when you've been doing, it's inexcusable too. When you've been doing these movies for so long, you should know what's going to piss off your fan base. I feel like they did that on purpose, where one, it was done for, female power, and they didn't care what happened after that. But if you were going to go down that route, you should have just made her the legit female Taskmaster by having the same backstory, instead of just having all these different little ins and ends to make her for what she was. And then again, you've seen it. You can't tell me that scene when she had her helmet off and she was talking did not look CGI. It looked so bad.
Well, I think it was CGI, right? It was a male actor that they kind of superimposed her onto.
Yeah, they basically put her head on somebody's body. It looked so bad. I was like, this is just terrible. But I guess, again, that was their way of trying to hide it as long as they could before you knew that. Whereas, that's not a twist that you should want your viewers to really see. If you're going to go down that route, just go down that route and let us know from the fact. Just give her a female suit, and then you could just know right then and there, oh, okay, Taskmaster's going to be a female. It's one of those twists that you should not really just throw at your fans and think they're going to like it. Right. And so, of course, the movie had a big drop-off on the second weekend. It wasn't no freaking hacking or anything like that.
No.
Honestly, if this movie came out in the past, before the pandemic and all this stuff happened, this probably would have had the same outcome. It would have had, and heck, I think maybe the pandemic actually helped this movie. It might have done worse if this would have come out right around the time frame as when they was super hot. Because with all the wait and build up, it's like, yeah, you have all the good Disney shows. It's like, yeah, all right, now we got a Marvel movie coming in. That's going to boost your sales, not hurt it. Right. But then you have what happened that hurts your sales. Like, let's say this came out right at their peak. This movie somehow came out, or if it followed the timeline, it came out exactly after Winter Soldier. I'm not Winter Soldier. Civil War. It comes out right after Civil War. You think it does? I think it probably does worse. I really think this movie does worse.
You think it does worse if it comes out right after Civil War as like a bridge story? I think it does worse.
If it comes, if it comes out the exact timeline it's supposed to, I think it actually does worse because you don't have the weight and the build up and all the people hungry to see what's going to happen in the next phase of Marvel because this is in that phase. Right. So it's no real build up to what's going to, oh my God, what's going to be the big mystery that's going down. We already know the big thing is going to be Thanos at that point and the big battle's up against him. But I don't know, man. Like I said, I think there's everything you said basically led to them having a drop off, and it does have a big drop off in the second week because again, LeBron movie was only, I think it did like I'm not for sure about the numbers, but I think it did like 78 something in this first weekend, and then the second weekend I think it dropped to like 28. It was something like that. I believe it was something like that because I think LeBron's was like 30 something. So if that's the case, it's a huge drop off.
According to Rotten Tomatoes,
hit me up.
Most popular. Oh, they have most popular streaming movies. Space Jam. Oh, but it doesn't give me a number. It just gives me their rating. of 32%. Well, they do have it as the number one most popular streaming movie.
Yeah.
And then Black Widow right behind it. Critics still giving it an 81%. I saw
some numbers on some website when they was on some article, excuse me, when I was looking at the LeBron trying to do some type of saving grace or whatever, and they was bringing that up and saying it was like 30 something, I think 36 or something, and Widow dropped down to like 28. Again, I don't know how accurate those numbers are, but I was like, damn, that's a huge drop off. Let's say it is true, 78 to 28. That's bad.
I'll say that as far as critics go, 81% positive reviews for Black Widow from certified critics, 92% positive reviews from the audience for this movie. That is a surprisingly high number for me.
That is high,
judging by what I've been seeing, like on Instagram and Reddit and everything like that. It just seemed. I thought.
But look at it like this, though. This is where those ratings at time are just so like. I don't ever really believe them too much. It's kind of hard to put too much stock into it because LeBron had like a rating from all the other things of like really bad, like 33, 34 point, blah blah blah, and then you look at his audience rating, which honestly, I haven't heard a single audience of anybody be like, "Oh, this movie's good." It had like an 85.
You're right. 32% from critics for Space Jam, 81% from audience.
81 now. It was like 85 back then, so 81 now. That's still really high, and that's just like what?
As a huge Taskmaster fan, says JBK's dad, I didn't care for the MCU version, but I am hopeful there will be more authentic version in the MCU Dark Avengers. And my copy of Deadpool Max #5 has never been worth more. That's true. That's the first appearance of Lady Taskmaster, female Taskmaster. Yeah, no, I'm with you. So they didn't kill off Taskmaster, so we do still have her around if needed. And yeah, we did get Elaine from Seinfeld at the end there, doing whatever she's doing, gathering people up.
Yeah, the chick from Seinfeld.
Yeah, Elaine, every time like every time that I see her now in the MCU, I can just think of her, like one of her most iconic scenes in Seinfeld is when she's on the subway and she's just like screaming and cursing because she's carrying this big present to go to like a lesbian wedding, and people keep asking her what she's doing. She's like, "I'm going to a lesbian wedding," and it's like the one of the few times that there's any kind of cursing on Seinfeld, and oh my gosh, it's hilarious. But that's all I can think of. No. But she was just she kept having to explain that she was going to a lesbian wedding, and then, of course in the 90s, I'm sure that was,
Oh, of course.
Yeah, like that was a big thing. So of course. It was just so funny because for real, like no one would ever ask you what you're doing on a New York subway, but of course, because for the show, everyone kept asking her what she was, and she kept explaining herself. I don't know. It's just one of the funniest scenes that I've seen with her. JBK's dad also says Marvel Studios needs to announce that next week Black Widow movie will include a deleted topless scene. Let me get some more lotion.
Yo, I think my legs are getting ashy again, bro. Yeah, bro. Like,
oh man.
I bet I'll get those ratings up, those numbers up at least. Forget the numbers up. Yeah. Those numbers up. You got a whole bunch of people tuning in there and screaming, re-screaming to see that part.
So I want to go back and touch a little bit more on the what I was saying about theaters, though. So I will say, going to see like a new movie in theaters, there is an atmosphere in the theater, right? That is pretty exciting, especially for like the big blockbuster movies,
right?
But I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't really like going to see movies in theaters, aside from like sometimes like funny movies with a full theater. It is a little bit more amusing. Or whatever, just like you have a whole crowd with you kind of thing, or like big movies is a little more exciting. But I just don't like it. I prefer, honestly, to see them in my house now. I've just gotten used to it now, and it's more comfortable. I don't have to worry about like teenage kids talking or being on their phone or taking selfies in the middle of the damn movie or some stupid shit like that. Like, I remember that was probably the most annoying thing I've ever had to deal with when like just going to the movies with Alexis or whatever. It just fucking kids taking. How do you take selfies with a flash? Like, come on, man! Like in the middle of a movie theater, you know what I mean? So like, I had dealing with the public there.
I had a douche do that before, and it was me and a couple of my boys, and when he did that, I politely told him, "Don't do that again, or I'm gonna take your phone." And he chose to be a little big and bad, and he did it again. So I took his phone.
Yeah,
and there was no more sometimes for the rest of that day. And he wasn't so big and bad when he saw who was with me, and he calmed his ass down. Especially, and I even told, I was like, "Y'all sit down, I'll take it." I took his phone and punked him, and then was like, "All right, no more for the rest of the day." Like, not even for this theater. I was like, "No more for the rest of the day." So. I feel deep down he didn't take another selfie for the rest of the day, but he got his phone back after the movie was over.
But yeah, so like dealing with the public and shit like that, I just feel like it's not for me. So like, what's gonna happen with all these big theaters? What's gonna happen with AMC? I mean, there's a reason that the big billionaire or whatever, they're putting short buys on AMC, and that's why Reddit came and tried to pump AMC stock and all that garbage. But when it comes down to it, it is a dying media, just like Netflix. I mean, not Netflix, but Blockbuster died when Netflix came. I think that now we're at a point.
Slow death.
We're at it. It was a slow death. We all miss Blockbuster, but guess what? We all have gotten along without Blockbuster, and now I think movie theaters have become the new Blockbuster, where it's like. Yeah, it's cool to go to the movies or whatever, but with all these different streaming services or like on demand, straight to your house type things that are coming out, the convenience, maybe you're paying $10 more instead of like me and Alexis going to the movies. It's going to cost me like $24 or something like that. Plus, if we want any snacks and we're not sneaking them in or whatever, it's going to cost another $10. So you're already pretty much at the $30. You're already at the $30 that it costs to get it just straight from the streaming service right in your own house. Where, like I said, you could just order a pizza or make a whole ass rotisserie chicken or whatever the hell you want to do and just eat it right there on your couch while you're watching the movie and not have to worry about getting there on time or the theater being disgusting from whatever, or people not cleaning it or something, or whoever. Like I said, people in the crowd being obnoxious, or taking selfies or
condoms and stuff down there.
Yeah, like just a severed hand or something under the seat. I don't know what's going on these days. And
to be fair, if I'm going for a horror movie and I see a severed hand, it kind of fits the atmosphere. It's like, all right, as long as it don't move.
As long as it don't move.
It starts moving and it's like, all right, time for me to leave. I'm good. As soon as I just quit, I'm like, all right, this cool. I already know where this is going. I will see you guys later. I will not be the first black person to die in this movie.
Is this an auction for buying bags and boards? I'm looking to flip a few for some profit. Thanks, John. I appreciate it. But no, this is not. I was just saying earlier that this is very much a sidebar. But bags and boards have become very expensive. Like just for freaking bags and boards. And I was like looking on eBay, and people are trying to flip bags and boards now, like for more money than like just regular wholesalers or whatever. It blows my mind where scumbags of this earth have really tried to. It's like flipping toilet paper during a toilet paper crisis. You know what I mean? I'm looking at you, Richard.
I was gonna say the same thing. I
remember his ass going around getting toilet paper.
Richard was doing it. He was. You actually know he was doing it.
In larger metropolitan cities, you have to pay for parking too. I didn't even think about that. 100% better value to stay home and invest in a nice home theater. 100%, man. Like, you don't even need a nice home theater. You just home on your couch or whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just, with your family and friends, having them over. You can make your own popcorn for 25 cents a bag instead of paying $5, $10 a bucket or whatever the hell you're paying.
Dude. Seriously, going to that fucking theater, watching that crappy movie, paid damn near $40. Stupid. Not even my kids talking about some. Hey, can I get some popcorn? My homie talking about some. Yeah, Chris got you. The You mean Chris got you? What are you talking about, man? But no, I fully agree with you though, bro. Just take a little rant out there. I fully agree with you though. Like that's another reason why I'm never gonna have kids. I fully agree with you though that like think about it.
I could just see you with like your own kids, and they ask you for some popcorn. Be like, "Get yourself a damn job. This is my popcorn."
Yeah. But I'm 6, and bro, when I was 5, you know, I had to carry like rocks up. Stop making some random stuff. I carried rocks up a volcano, worried about it being active. And on my way up, I was reading algebra, getting ready for school at 5. I had no shoes too, so it was
no shoes. I had no shoes. So that's hilarious.
But no, like it's kind of funny though, because we think for me, the only time I really, really enjoy going to the theaters is if I'm going to a horror movie and I got a girl with me. That's the funnest thing. And also listening to the screams of other people just feeds me. It gets me stronger. Definitely when they cry. It's just awesome. But outside of that, on the real, no, it does suck. Even with sports. I love going to sporting events, but it's way better, especially for baseball, for me, honestly. As many Yankee games as I went to, I would rather watch a Yankees game at home than go to Yankee Stadium and watch it in in live. Like it's just a better experience. It could be definitely if it's a slow bad game, and you're just kind of stuck sitting there.
To kind of add on to that, one, baseball stadiums are just so hot. Like it's a summer sport. You're outside. There's no shade. It's hot, man. And you're in like a concrete, almost like semi-bowl where it's just like trapping the heat now.
Yeah.
So but I will say I have more fun at minor league baseball games, like going to attend, than major league baseball games.
They have a lot more fun.
Yeah, it's just like more like
it's a lot more family oriented too.
It's a lot cheaper. You get pretty much the same result, the same amount of scores and everything like that. And like you said, a lot more family oriented. And I don't know. It's just for me, and it's a smaller stadium, less hot a little bit. For me, I like minor league.
It's really interesting though, because it's like certain things definitely. It's not saying that like with sports in general, it is better when you have fans there. Because like even in the NBA playoffs, having fans here to not having fans is a big difference, and it is cool and it is fun to listen to the guys get rowdy. The Phoenix Suns in their game when they lost the Bucks.
Suns and 4.
Exactly. Lil Wayne was saying that this was one of the most rowdy, in a good way, loudest stadiums he's been into for an NBA game. Like they was rabid, they was enjoying themselves, they was really loud. Yeah. So that stuff is fun. And last night, they did their pay-per-view Money in the Bank, and they had the fans there for the first pay-per-view that fans was back in, and the atmosphere was great. I mean, listening to them, it was awesome, man. The chants, the screaming, like stuff like that is great, but that's different than being in a movie theater. And I agree with you, man. Being in a movie theater, it really sucks compared to the comfort you have. And you don't got to, bring in and sneak in your own tequila. If you want to talk about
bringing a whole bottle of tequila. Oh my gosh. If you're bringing in a whole bottle of tequila to a movie theater, Chris, then you're having all sorts of different problems than what we got. Uh-oh, did I lose you?
Yeah, that's what LeBron did.
Oh, there we go.
I
lost you as far as picture, but I can still hear you. Nope, now I lost you as far as that too. You there? All right. So anyways, I will continue the party here and talk a little bit about Loki, because I think that was kind of what was going to be next. And then as soon as Chris jumps back into the room, we should be good. So Loki, the season finale, was absolutely phenomenal, and I just could not get enough of it. So I really think that they did a great job with Loki. I loved how well Jonathan Majors was in the episode. It was absolutely incredible. Just like from the moment that he first came onto the screen, it was just another level. I feel like we haven't had that kind of energy and enthusiasm into a new character for a long time. Not since probably even like with Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man. Like he brought a level of enthusiasm and like just you were excited about him being that character, and that's how I felt with Jonathan Majors. Of course, this is going to be spoilers a little bit going forward about the finale of Loki. So if you haven't seen it, warning. But he does play the one, or He Who Remains, I guess is who they call it. So He Who Remains in the comics is the creator of the TVA. He's not technically Kang. It's not Immortus. Though because of how well receptive that Jonathan Majors was and how well he did, I think they're like restructuring it so that that part of it is one of Kang's iterations, I guess. And just kind of making that part of the canon for the MCU, which is just speaks volumes about how well he did. Here we go, and then we got Chris back. So
here we go.
There we go. Dropped you for a second, but you're back. I was just saying that in the Loki season finale,
right?
Jonathan Majors just brought a whole level of electricity to that role that he did, and it was just so well done that even though he played a character called He Who Remains, who in the comics is not Kang, and he is the creator of the TVA, they are now kind of rewriting and restructuring, so it is an iteration of Kang going forward. And oh my gosh, he just did an outstanding job, I think.
I think he did too. I do want to say one more thing though, before I got weirdly cut off there. I think maybe LeBron got angry, so I've been talking too much trash. What's you doing? That dude tried to sneak. Well, he didn't try to. He just did, and he's LeBron, so they ain't do anything about it. That dude snuck tequila in to the Phoenix Sun game.
Hell yeah!
And then he popped it down like for everybody to see it, and not a single person walked up to him and said a thing. It was just like, it's LeBron, so we're just gonna let that go.
Full bottle of tequila.
Full bottle of tequila. But no, I fully agree with you, man. Because when me and you was talking a couple of days ago, that's one of the best debuts from anybody in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He did an excellent job, and he wasn't even on screen for that long. Like what? 20 minutes, something like that. Like he did such an excellent job. The energy, the charisma, like everything was there. Mm-hmm. The believability, like it was all there, as if he's been around for like the last couple of years.
That's what I was saying. I haven't been so excited about a character. I haven't seen someone bring so much passion into it since Robert Downey Jr. with Iron Man, where we're actually excited to see him excited about a character. So it was really incredible, and I loved the end, the wink that he gave, where he's like, "I'll see you soon," and he gives the wink while the timeline behind him is just going crazy and exploding and everything like that. And man, that it was perfect. It was just so good, and I am so excited now to see what he has in store with this character and all of his different versions that he's going to play. From Annihilus, which he even kind of referenced like all his personas while he was giving that speech, because he said Annihilation instead of Annihilus, but he's an Annihilus and Immortus, because he was saying like immortal or whatever. So he did kind of lay little Easter eggs out about his different Kang the Conqueror. He said conquering or something like that. And oh my gosh, man, I'm so pumped to see. I know he's going to be the big bad going forward for this whole entire phase, right through Fantastic Four, I feel like. And this is just
it's so good, because now, especially with the whole time travel shenanigans and everything, he has the ability to show up in these different movies, and just now he don't even have to be there for long. He can just show up, say a couple of things, and the way he was, it's going to be great, man.
Oh yeah, no, it's man, and even like I was saying, when Sylvie goes and decides to kill him, and he's like, "I'll see you soon," and gives
she knew she messed up after that, so you can look on her face. She's like, "Oh crap."
She messed it up, man. And then from that time to when Loki then like wakes up at the TVA or like gets up to go find Mobius.
It's a different Mobius.
Kang took over. It's a different Mobius, baby. Oh my gosh, which just
like know what's going on. He's like, what?
I had to rewind it back and like, did that just happen? Because then the statue was just one statue of Kang instead of the 3 statues of the Timekeepers. It has been released that Jonathan Majors was in fact the voice for the Timekeeper robots. So you do know that he was behind that. I mean, we kind of knew he was behind it anyway when he was talking about how he set everything up. But that just pretty much 100% confirmed it. And yeah, man, oh gosh, it's just going to be so good going forward from here. I cannot wait to see what they have in store for this character.
And you know what's funny about it now, just looking forward in the future, they can definitely actually bring up and be like, those was like iterations of the Doom bots, where he can like in a Fantastic Four situation, he can be like, yeah, and one of my versions took some of your bots or whatever, or he can be like, I'm missing some or something like that. Right. They can now bring that up, and it can make perfect sense.
Right.
It's just so much stuff you can do now.
Yep.
Which now that's a huge positive. Like his character has brought so much fresh air into the MCU already.
Yes.
We're just like, man,
and he's only been on screen for 20 minutes. Yeah.
Right.
That's just crazy.
I mean, everybody on there like 20 minutes, and he's done such a great job. And it's like, man, I am so looking forward to what's gonna pop off next, man. Like this is great. I wish season 2 was coming out next week instead of like probably I'm guessing probably closer to the end of next year. It'll probably come out if we're lucky.
If we're lucky,
If we're lucky.
I mean, I know they're going to be working to get it done because I know you were talking about ranking the Disney Plus shows that have come out, but I think Loki was the best Disney Plus show that has come out. We have 3. We only have 3 so far, but I will say I think that it was the best. Honestly, there were no bad. I don't think any of them.
Yeah, none of them are bad. No,
I don't think any of them were bad. But I think Loki, I think WandaVision next, and then I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier third. Just as far as like an entertainment and kind of true to the comics aspect, I think that's how I'm gonna kind of rate those 3. Again, not saying Falcon and Winter Soldier was bad, not saying WandaVision was bad. That's my personal preference of the 3 that came out.
Okay, yeah, no doubt about that. For me, it at first that was what I was probably going with too. Then it changed. Then it went from Loki 1. Then after really thinking about it, I looked at it as a story and a narrative perspective too. I had to put Falcon and Soldier over Wanda, and it's because WandaVision in the grand scheme of things really didn't add anything.
Okay.
To me, it didn't really add anything yet. Maybe the ending, you could say, means a lot. But at least from Falcon and Winter Soldier, from the beginning to the end, it was adding things in terms of Falcon's reluctancy to be Captain America. To him growing into the role. It also showed his importance to the community.
Yes.
And stuff like that, I had to look at that and say that mattered. WandaVision what is, as of right now at least, was its own separate thing. That happened in one little area. It affected a very little amount of people in the grand scheme of things. But Falcon and Winter Soldier affected a whole lot more people, including a whole community, including in general, just Black people in general, especially in that story's aspect of how important Falcon is to Black people and him becoming Captain America, how big of a deal that is to Black people and for himself to learn what it means to truly be a leader, what it's going to mean to truly be Captain America. So for me, that's why that ended up jumping WandaVision. Now, I do think WandaVision in the grand scheme of things will have a big effect, seeing how the ending scene was, with her basically looking like she's going to be a little crazy going forward. But we'll kind of get that probably in Strange's movie.
Doctor Strange, right? Yeah. We'll definitely see the residual effects of that show in that movie. Yeah, definitely.
But that's just why I ranked it that way.
Okay, yeah, no, I can definitely see that now for that point of view with it. I mean, again, it was all three of them outstanding shows. I loved them. I've rewatched them a couple times each. You know what I mean? So it's not like from an entertaining aspect, I'm saying any of them were boring.
No,
I didn't particularly like the Flag Smashers from Falcon after it was kind of revealed to be a group, and then the group kind of fizzled. Like it wasn't. The villain aspect of that one was hurt me a little bit. That's why I ranked it. Yeah, where it was. But definitely, I'm with you that it was great. I loved seeing how Falcon interacted with the community. I loved the chemistry between Falcon and Winter Soldier. It was just amusing the entire time between the two of them.
Because he had his own demons he had to get rid of too. He had his own things.
Both of them did. Yeah, both of them had insecurities and demons, stuff they were fighting from their past going into the future. I loved that. And yeah, it was the Flag Smashers that really kind of did it for me. But I understand setting up U.S. Agent, and then of course, Contessa, aka Elaine from Seinfeld. Going forward with that. So all three of them very important to the future. You can't just watch, just the movies now, I guess, at this point, and not know the backstory of how
mixed feelings on that a little bit. I kind of got some mixed feelings on that a little bit in terms of again, content is not necessarily bad at all. More content can be good, but you still have to be a little careful, especially if you're looking just for casual fans who, let's call it what it is. At times, they're probably the more important fans in terms of sales. In terms of importance, obviously, the true fans to me are going to be more important because we know the stuff and we care about it more. But in terms of sales, if you're just looking at it as just a sell, the casual fans might be more important. Everybody got their opinion on that. That's just how I look at it.
They will be more important. Well, just because, looking at like the Venom movie, how all the true fans hate that movie, but casually that movie was a blockbuster event and made so much money. So I'm with you there. You're 100% right. Yep.
But if you confuse the casual fan too much by having all these different references that they don't know what the heck is going on, you could end up hurting a little bit. Your sales and your overall profit, because now, let's call it what it is. If casual fans get confused about certain things, they'll stop. They'll look for something else that's a lot more easier to understand, and they'll jump ship somewhere else. So to me, you just got to be a little bit careful of having all these different shows that add so much to the movies. But if they don't know what's going on, you could hurt. You just got to be careful to me.
Sure. Okay. I feel you on that. I think as far as shows coming out now, we have Hawkeye to look forward to. Yeah. What If to look forward to, which is animated, not really going to play into the movies or anything. It's just that off in its own What If universe.
Man, that's going to be T'Challa's that's going to be like one of the last real roles you see him in, too.
That is true. He voice acted Black Panther for What If, and that's going to be it for us.
That's crazy.
Yeah. We have She-Hulk and we have Moon Knight as far as shows as announced, and then Loki season 2 apparently is happening, which I wasn't aware that it was getting a second season. So yeah, that's the shows part of it, and then of course we have the movies that are coming out that we discussed last week or the week prior about which movies are coming out next. But yeah, I'm with you. So as far as I feel like they're still doing a good job explaining or building up what's happening right now. The Black Widow movie, we already knew. We knew what we were expecting. It was set like in the past, setting up Yelena. Whatever, however you feel about Taskmaster. Taskmaster is still around. If Taskmaster comes back into play, I'd be surprised just based off the fan reaction to how they did it.
I actually think that she's definitely
at this point is like.
I think she's definitely gonna come back into play because
as like a villain.
I don't know as necessarily a villain.
Because the way that they ended it, it's made it seem like they were trying to turn her. I don't know.
Right. But I'm saying, though, that's one, she's a female. and that's going to be a big. I'm just being straight up honest. That's going to be huge, and that's going to give a huge edge for her to come back. And she's probably going to come back as maybe an anti-hero and something like that, which they can easily do that.
Yeah, I gotcha. Falcon and Winter Soldier took the biggest COVID hit when they had to re-edit the series to take out the pandemic storyline. Unfortunately, that edited the quality a bit. So they were...
I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, it was like they were saying that it was going to be a pandemic storyline or something like that. They were trying to get medicine to these groups. That's kind of what the Flag Smashers were supposed to be doing. Is getting like all these people that just came back after the blip. They're trying to get them supplies, medicine, that kind of stuff. And they just it was hitting, I guess, too close to home with what the pandemic was actually happening. So they took a little bit of the sickness storyline out of it, I guess. So I think that's what JBK's dad is talking about there.
You know, man, I'm really sick of stuff like that. Where like that's one of the things I really hate sometimes about Americans when they come to their storytelling. Like they get so soft. Man. They get so freaking soft. Like for instance, let's look at the Fallout universe, the video game Fallout. It literally takes place after all of the big world countries get into this giant argument, and they basically all nuke each other, right? So everything gets nuked, and everything is terrible. And then it's super in the future, and the 20 blah 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 is in the future, and all this crap. And now society's trying to rebuild itself, but you're dealing with so much crazy stuff, like rape and killing, and all that stuff goes down.
Of course.
But you'll hear these stories, but they never really show some of it. And that's fine not showing a lot of it. But then they're so soft on like, oh, if you hit a kid character, like a little kid, it's all hell breaks loose. And now they basically just take them out the game so that I guess they incent players not to hit them or do anything bad. Again, that's cool and all, but just the realistic of it, they'll be so tentative to tell these and do these different things. When it's like, in reality, this world would be straight up hell and crap if something like that really went down.
Oh, 100%.
But they're so like they want you to like. They're just so scared to actually go that far, I guess. And it gets kind of annoying when it's stuff like that, because it's like, well, don't try to make it seem like this is all lore and all immersive, but it's not.
Right. JPK's dad says what makes the Loki series more impressive is the fact they shot it on COVID guideline sets that restricted the amount of people on set. There were great scenes with just 2 or 3 people involved. Yep, that's true. That is true.
That's true.
To go on your point, Chris, as far as video games go, I'm not as much of a gamer. However, it does surprise me that there can be controversy out of video games a little bit. I mean, the biggest controversies I think that I know of is one, the no Russian scene from Call of Duty Modern Warfare, where you basically just kill a whole bunch of pedestrians in an airport. And you can choose to do it or not to do it. So that one, and I was just like, really, like, that out of all the other things that happened in that or took place in that game, including charging the White House and like the White House is on fire and just like all the death and destruction that goes on in the game, like that's what you choose as far as being offended about. And then the other one, which goes back even further, is Mortal Kombat is awesome. I love Mortal Kombat. The controversy with Mortal Kombat and the introduction of blood into video games, I think we talked about that a little bit too, and just the blood and violence and insane amount and graphic amount that they put into it. That's awesome to me. Like,
it is awesome.
Yeah, moms get mad because it's in the arcades, and this is a time where arcades were booming and everything like that. But Mortal Kombat's like not even really on the list for me as far as controversy goes. It's more the other one I remember like people actually being mad about is Sims, where you would have the characters have sex with each other, and that was like a big thing apparently. But it was like, I don't know. The video game controversy is like really? Like we're still mad about what people put into games? Like, come on, man. Like I get it. Even the topic of discussion of like video game violence causes real life violence. It's like, no.
Which, if you really look at the numbers and statistic of that, the real numbers actually prove that to be crap.
False.
That the
Completely
video game
false.
does not cause your child
just because you
go crazy and go out there
carjack a car in Grand Theft Auto and run over some hookers or whatever they're talking about, trying to blame that as far as, you know, real life violence.
Right.
Like, it's a lot different.
It really
to do
is.
that with a joystick than to actually in real life try to attempt some shit like that, where the person will legitimately be like, "Oh, really?" and then take the gun out of their glove compartment and pop you. You know what I mean? So
exactly. It's like, from all the stuff that I've watched and played, video games, anime, or whatever, at no point in time did I want to go out there and hit a child or hit a woman or steal a car or shoot somebody in the face because of the video game or some crazy crap like that. Like, I never wanted to do any of those things. And then a video game is not going to make me want to do those things even more. Right. If you like, you can live those fantasies out in a video game, but I've never had a feeling to want to go actually do that crap. Like, it's not. It doesn't. Come on. Like,
actually, in college, I wrote a paper on the like the correlation between violence in movies and like with kids going to watch violent movies and how they. And it's just, there's no proof. Like, all the research shows that. In general, your kids are eating these like sugary snacks while watching movies, and that's going to hype them up more than anything else. It's not the movie that's hyping them up. It's all the crap that you're giving them, the soda, the snacks, everything like that. And then your kid's going to act wild for the rest of the day or two or whatever. And so...
And a lot of parents don't want to take responsibility of actually raising their kids the way that they need to raise their kids. And,
I just said something like that on Instagram
there's
the other day,
sometimes
too.
where you can raise a kid and you could be a great parent and the kid just ends up being a bad egg. But that's not necessarily because of the video game. It's just, unfortunately, that kid is a bad egg. And that's just
that's the forever nature versus nurture argument that that people have, you know. Everything has sugar in it. That's true. Everything does have sugar in it. That's an interesting picture that you got going on there. I'm not sure.
That is all right.
So everything does have sugar in it. I mean, sugar is a more addictive drug than cocaine is. It lights up the same areas in your brain. And now we're going into science. We're not even in pop culture no more.
We're not even in science.
It lights up the same areas of your brain.
The craziness of reproduction and no, go on. Finish what you gonna say.
Yeah, so sugar, it lights up the same dopamine centers in your brain that and addiction centers in your brain, which is why a lot of people struggle to quit soda or candy or anything like that. And I am someone who can say that firsthand experience that it is hard to give up soda. It is hard to give up, you know, having a snack or candy or chips or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Food is I mean, obviously you need food to live, but food is 100% like very addictive as far as like sugary foods and sweets and stuff like that. And you will always choose like, you know, a sugary snack over like, you know, some carrot sticks or something like that.
Right.
When you're reaching for a snack, you're not going to pick like almonds or carrots.
Stick up.
Yeah, you're getting like a chocolate bar. You know what I mean?
Like potato chips or candy or whatever else you like really like. You pick the carrot stick up. No, you're not. Stop it, you nerd. You're not gonna. No, I'm messing. But no, you're not gonna pick that up.
I have 100% thrown more banana peels out of my window while driving after spending hours playing Mario Kart than I did before Mario Kart. All right, well, you are the exception to the rules.
Yeah, you are the exception.
And I blame you for me going into circles into traffic the other day after hitting a banana peel. I was very upset. I lost the balloon. I was furious.
Yep. You were so mad. You just wanted that red the red shell so you could just hit your next enemy.
Hey, now Mountain Dew for life, baby. I got Crown and Mountain Dew right here.
I mean, I am actually just drinking some good old water, but I'm like freaking Piccolo from Dragon Ball. I can live off water. But no, it's actually kind of the one thing I will say that movies and video games can manipulate a kid in this aspect is language. I will say language is the one thing that I will say that right there can manipulate. Like shows like South Park. South Park definitely made it fun to curse for me growing up. Just looking at it, stuff like that can manipulate in that aspect. And, that's not the end of the world. You can teach your kid not to curse in public and this and that.
Right.
I mean, heck, LeBron cursed. This is a big talk about LeBron today. Jesus. LeBron curses all the time. And I don't think it's a bad thing. If you're an adult and know how to handle it, or if you're, if you're a kid and you never curse in school and you don't curse around adults, but you curse in front of your friends, don't see that as a problem.
Right.
Like, I really don't see that as a problem at all.
I don't see cursing as a problem, period.
Not hurt.
I don't see cursing as a problem, period. Like, as far as, if I have kids, raising them up or whatever, obviously be respectful. If you're in, like, a job situation, you're in a job, and you're in, like, a meeting, right.
It's probably not the best idea to just be like, man, fuck this shit. That's probably not the best idea to do that. So,
well, sometimes, Chris, you just gotta let them know.
I mean, that could be me in a couple of days.
Yeah, that's right.
That's not the best thing. Or you're at school and your teacher asks you a question, and she's like, hey, Chris, what's the answer to so and so? You're just like, what'd you say, bitch? I was sleeping. You know what I'm saying? Like, that might not be the best thing to do.
Mr. Garrison, what I said was, how would you like to suck my balls?
That probably would not be the best thing to do, neither. So I'm just saying, there's times to curse and times not to curse. I'm just saying, in situations like this, you should. But in general, I'm fully with you.
People who get their panties in a bunch about it. I mean, a word is a word. You know what I mean? Like, as long as it's not being directed to you in a hateful way.
It's not offensive to another race.
Right. So as long as you're not using it in a hateful way, saying, oh, fuck this shit, it's not like, or instead of saying, oh man, screw this noise. But like, it's the same thing. You mean the same thing. It just doesn't matter which. It's the meaning behind the words for sure.
Exactly.
Right.
Just gotta be careful in that aspect. But it is funny, real fast. We talking about that science stuff. I was thinking the other day about I was watching the movie. I don't even know why I was rewatching it, but I was watching the Thing that came out in 2011, which is basically the whole alien stuff, really. With the creatures who can jump on you and reconstruct your DNA and all that other stuff. And it's really interesting when you think about how DNA works, and if you was actually able to reconstruct your DNA yourself. I know there's certain things they're kind of doing in real life to kind of manipulate that kind of stuff. Okay. But just imagine being able to do that and reconstruct your DNA any way you wanted to. Like, that would be a really neat power when you think about it. Like, you can reconstruct your DNA to be able to withstand cold weather. In a bigger way, you can reconstruct your DNA to actually grow tentacles if you really wanted to. Like, some of that stuff is really crazy when you actually think about how DNA and how blood cells and all that stuff actually works, and how cells, so many trillions of cells just get destroyed throughout just a normal day. Just some of that stuff is just amazing to think about.
For sure, and they go into those kind of storylines. I mean, all the time. I mean, even with the lizard, that was a huge thing that he was trying to do to manipulate his DNA to
get his arm back.
To regrow his arm. Yeah,
and it worked. Unfortunately, it had a side effect. It turned him a little crazy.
A little side effect.
Well, crazy.
It's all right. It just turned him into a giant monster.
It's all right. It was crazy enough to be like, I'm going to turn the whole world into lizard people. It's going to be great.
Actually, that is for real. There are lizard people out there. I've met one. So is Chris.
We did.
His name is Kim.
We worked for him, and
he wore a sombrero, and it was crazy.
He loved the sombrero.
So lizard people are real. So just be careful about all that. It's a totally normal side effect to become a lizard. Yeah, no, it's 100%. All right. Yeah. All right, but we're gonna wrap up today's episode. I have a couple things to plug on Instagram at Comics for Cheap. Guess what? I'm dropping a brand new shirt design today, so that's gonna be really awesome. Drop it like it's hot, and it's Snoop Dogg in 2003. So I'm really excited about that. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be my cheapest shirt yet, and I'm gonna run a sale that if you buy more than one item, you get 10% off. So that's gonna be pretty cool. I'm going to Savannah this weekend to have a good time set up at a show and help someone set up at a show, I should say, and kind of help run his booth, which is going to be a lot of fun. Chris, you got anything to plug? I know you're working on some stuff.
I am working on some stuff. I know I said it last week, and it's just because of the work schedule. I haven't been able to put out my gaming videos, but they're coming much sooner than later. It's just be patient with your boy. It's been very a lot of stuff going on work-wise.
I'm very excited for them.
I'm excited too, man. It's just the work has just been killing me, man. It's definitely schedule-wise, but that's gonna be great. And yeah, it's just a lot of stuff is gonna be coming to the channel. It's gonna be freaking awesome. You guys are gonna love it.
Heck yeah.
Can't wait. It's going to be just great. And James going to be just go out there multiplying and making the business even bigger with the influences that he's going to bring in.
That's right. Hopefully.
He's going to rule this world.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you watching. Hit that like button for us if you don't mind. Smash it real quick before we end it. And we will see you next Monday at 7 p.m. the same time, same place, everything like that. As always, I ask you to stay villainous and also...
Fuck Space Jam.